Coming up in the news, the International Bazaar going up in smoke once again. Also, the grandmother of GB's latest murder victim is speaking out tonight. And the Ministry of Tourism going after the German market. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening all, I'm Jamila Mizik. Thank you so much for tuning in. Topping the news, what was once a bustling shopping center is now nothing but a burnt-out shell and an eyesore in the city center. A massive blaze ripping through the abandoned International Bazaar for much of last night, gutting buildings in its wake. That blaze erupted shortly before 4 p.m. yesterday, and thick, dark smoke could be seen for miles. Today, the fire is out and most of the abandoned buildings have been reduced to rubble. RJ Philippe was among those on the scene last night as firefighters worked to contain the blaze.
The massive fire continuing during the night, ripping through the International Bazaar, taking down buildings including the Asian section and the once popular China Palace. Large flames shooting several feet into the air from rooms and out of windows of several abandoned structures. Crowds watch in shock from the street as firefighters work feverishly to contain the blaze. 2 fire trucks could be seen on location, one of them owned by Buckeye Bahamas, formerly Barco.
We try to always render our services to the community to keep these fires under control. We got a little control burn here now. We're just trying to put the rest of the fire out to make sure that everything's out before we leave. We have like 6 people on the scene with two fire apparatuses.
It was an emotional time for some curious onlookers. They say it's truly sad to see the once popular international landmark destroyed in such a way.
This was one of the things that we used to promote Grand Bahama. The International Bazaar go around the world in a day. And what's happening behind me now, I can feel the heat on my back. It's sad, but it's due. It's overdue. The bazaar needs to go away. Princess buildings need to go away.
Many motorists stopped by to get a glimpse of the massive blaze that was consuming the abandoned stores in the bazaar.
The bazaar is the place that everybody normally would come around Christmas, doing their shopping, having the police band out here. It's really sad to see this place go down like this.
We've been believing God for the restoration of Grand Bahama. And for some reason, unknown to us, the bazaar, the hotel, was not able to move forward. And so now that it is deteriorated to this degree, I do believe that the powers that be will be able to make a judgment on it.
You know, this reminds me of many years ago when the straw market in Nassau was on fire and how it attracted so many people. And many people don't understand. When you see places like this on fire, it's not just a place on fire, it's your culture. It's a place that helped to create the identity of who your community, you know, who you are in the community. This place behind here, even I've been in Grand Bahama back now living for the past 18 years. And really and truly, I mean, I have fond memories here. So imagine those who were here their entire life. So this isn't just the International Bazaar crumbling, this is a part of culture.
The fire was fully extinguished overnight and police say they are now looking into the cause of the blaze. I'm Jay Philippe, ZNS Network News.
The International Bazaar has been in a state of decay for over a decade. It was once the flagship shopping center of Grand Bahama, and now it is a complete eyesore due to years of abandonment and recent structural fires. Tonight, the former president of the Bazaar Owners Association says it is time for the bazaar to be demolished. Ramiko Knowles has more.
The majority of the bazaar has been abandoned for so long that it has led to, I would say, 95% of the buildings being vandalized.
A major slum. That's how President of the Bazaar Owners Association, Chris Payne, describes the condition of the International Bazaar. He shares his thoughts on the recent structural fires.
it's pretty sad, but someone is obviously taking advantage of the derelict buildings. I don't know if there's arson involved. I kind of suspect there might be, but I don't know for what reasons. The buildings are in a state of decay and have been for probably 10, 12 years.
He says not only does the International Bazaar need to be demolished, but so does the Royal Oasis, which he believes is another crumbling ruin in Grand Bahama.
I mean, the whole area needs to be redeveloped. So there's no point in any of the owners trying to sell off their properties or buildings to other individuals. I think that would be a lost cause, because the concept of the International Bazaar is outdated. It's past its prime. There's no way it would be financially viable to redevelop it to try to replicate what it once was.
What would you think would be the next step at this point?
So I think that's a big question mark. What the next step is. I think at this stage nobody knows.
He notes that Freeport is in a terrible economic state, with little to no improvement, which makes it an extremely difficult place for residents to live.
New Providence is booming. The hotels, there's construction, there's development. And it seems the powers that be are unable to bring development to Grand Bahama in any significant form. And that has been a tragic story for 2-3 decades. And it's very, very, very sad.
Now, Monday, December 6th was the 4th time fire services were called to the International Bazaar to extinguish one of the buildings that were engulfed in flames. Ramiko Knowles, ZNS Network News.
Meantime, police are continuing investigations into the shooting death of a 17-year-old male in Pinders Point on Friday night. The young man was reportedly working on a car when he was shot to death. Tonight, his grieving grandmother is appealing for justice. Italia Hall reports.
The news sending shockwaves throughout the Pinders Point community as 17-year-old Kevon Jean was gunned down while making repairs to a vehicle. Kevon, a twin, was a student of the Beacon School and lived with his grandmother not too far away from the business establishment where he was shot. His grandmother recounting the moments before the fatal shooting. She recalls Kevon, who is autistic, asking for a pair of tennis. She says he left the house and told her that he will be right back. She says shortly after, she heard gunshots.
When I said on ya, I said, I'm not po. Just when my daughter said, Mommy, I hear something.
You heard the gunshots yourself?
Yes, Mom, I hear something. He said, well, across the road. I said, no, that well there by Junkyard.
After hearing the gunshots, she became concerned and ran outside.
I see my boy lay down on the floor. I said, wow. I said, nobody can. I just lay down.
The grieving grandmother says she does not understand why anyone would want to kill Kevon.
When somebody go up my hand, the little baby go up my hand, I can't eat. I can't do nothing. When he go lay down somewhere, just when I pass him, I smell him. Yeah, that's wrong. That you kill that boy for nothing. I don't know.
She says Kevon was a good grandson who was able to do some mechanic work.
Say, Mommy, I do some work for you. I do one house for you. Before I dead, I make one house for you because you pay money too much. You pay money too much.
Now youth leader Dudley Sade also meeting with the grandmother. He says the situation is unfortunate.
The word on the street is missing identification, wrong person. At the end of the day, it's still murder. How much more bloodshed that we need in our country to understand that we need to put a pulse on this? We're losing our men. 8 Mile Rock 2, today Pinders Point. I want to send a cry out, pretty much. It's a sad day in our country. When you hear a mother said, a Grammy said, this young boy told his mother that he wants to build a home or buy a home for his mother, and now he's in the grave.
Said is calling for the laws in the country to change.
It'd be that easy if you commit murder to come out on the streets. I think we need to put the bail higher.
The youth leader says violent crime is becoming a major problem on Grand Bahama, and violence is not the way to go.
I am grieving for this family. I had an opportunity, like I said, to sit with her and to hear that this young man is a mechanic. This young man is not selling dope. This young man is not on the streets. He fixed cars. Now he is dead. So I ask you, let's continue to pray for our country, because we're losing too much of our young men.
Grand Bahama murder count now stands at 7 for the year. It's Talia Hall, ZNS Network News.
Meantime, 12 foreign nationals have been charged in the magistrate's court on Grand Bahama. The Bahamas Immigration Department Enforcement Unit, Grand Bahama District, launching Operation Turquesa, a global Interpol-led operation targeting suspected facilitators and participants in human smuggling. The operation resulted in the arrest of 3 Dominican, 2 Ecuadorian, and 7 Haitian nationals for various infractions of the Immigration Act. They were prosecuted for their various infractions. Fines were subsequently paid as ordered by the magistrate, and they were escorted to the Carmichael Road Detention Center to await deportation to their respective home countries. In other news, the Ministry of Tourism Grand Bahama welcoming a group of travel agents from Germany over the weekend. The purpose of the trip? A fact-finding mission for the German travel agents to educate their clients about Grand Bahama. Well, our ZNS News team caught up with the group at the Grand Lucine Resort on Saturday. Italia Hall has the story.
The group included some 20 travel agents from Germany. They were able to take in part in several activities while on the island. The Ministry of Tourism representative in Germany says Grand Bahama was once a popular destination for Germans, but that popularity began to decline following Hurricane Dorian and the COVID-19 pandemic.
For us, it's very important to promote Grand Bahama with its beauty and its diversity, again, in the German-speaking markets, because, as said, I believe it's a little bit forgotten, and that's why what we try to do with this fam trip, to really bring it back on the plate so that we can welcome more German-speaking people here on the island.
A journalist from the Trade magazine in Germany was also a part of the group.
The Trade magazine, we obviously try to get nice articles and some insight transferred to the point of sale to the travel agencies. The agents we have picked, we know that they do have the potential to sell the islands of the Bahamas. Some of them are very specialized in the US, and as we all know, the Bahamas and the US is normally an ideal combination, or they're selling a lot of long hauls, so they're pretty experienced tour operators that have, travel agents, that have been selected by tour operators that know that these agencies have the potential to send clients here to the Bahamas.
And overall, she says the group is impressed with the beaches on the island.
And now we're exploring the nature of Grand Bahama Island. So we're going on kayaking. So we also want to show the diversity of the island. It's not just a beach destination, it's a destination where you can be active. We'll see Lucine National Park, so also promoting our big numbers of national parks that we have here in the Bahamas. So that's the purpose of this trip, and also interacting with the local people.
Travel agent Flavia Santos sharing her experience.
I'm here to show the world and hopefully Germany that it's possible to come to the Bahamas, because it's my passion to travel, and I think right now it's the perfect time to show them it's really necessary to feel love again and go out the world. And I'm here to see a lot of islands, to learn more about the Bahamas, and hopefully sell a lot in the future, because I'm doing a lot of group travels with young clients, and they're waiting for me to come back to show them videos and photos and do a lot of trips here.
Italia Hall, ZNS Network News.
You're watching the Northern Edition. Stay with us. We'll be back right after this break.